think that's what he was saying.
Yeah, there we are, retrieval of disabled
Got it.
aircraft, there we are.
Alright, got it. Cause that has a specific purpose, that's not just haphazardly running around.
No persons allowed on runway, parallel taxiway, area between runway and parallel taxiway or areas adjacent to the runway. Exemption given to the minimum number of persons necessary to launch or retrieve an aircraft, provided such persons are under the supervision of a pilot, licensed aircraft mechanic, airport manager, airport maintenance person, or other person authorized by the airport manager. Any such supervisor must provide training on procedures for runway right-of-way, clearing the runway surfaces and taxiway, communications procedures for executing such operations. We also have to allow then somebody on there to retrieve the carts.
Well, minimum number of persons necessary to launch or retrieve an aircraft, we could add on there, or, I don't know how you wanna call the,
Yeah, if you want that in there, we could say aircraft or air vehicle.
Yes, I like that.
yeah, there you go.
So you could have some of the balloon.
Oh, I forgot about balloons, yeah.
Okay, persons on the runway or taxiway, that reminds me of
They're actually considered aircraft.
What's that?
They're actually considered aircraft, I believe.
Thank you.
I believe. I'm
What do
sorry.
we do about Father's Day weekend? That's a special event.
That special event, it'd have to be going through,
You
yeah,
covered it
have to
when
go
we get
through
to
the
that.
airport manager. Cause you'd have to follow the same thing with the safety procedures and all the other stuff that's down further in the list.
Aircraft parking and securing. Pilots of base and transient aircraft and operators of air vehicles are responsible for securing their aircraft or air vehicles from wind, storms, or propeller blasts caused by normal operation of aircraft or air vehicles. Town of Palmyra Municipal Airport does not provide the tie downs or other facilities for itinerant aircraft or air vehicles and is not responsible for any damage to aircraft, whether parked, taking off, landing, or taxiing. Allowable tie down and aircraft parking areas are marked in Appendix A of this document, and that's the last page.
That's essentially current blank areas.
Right.
Vehicle parking. Hangar owners or tenants may park vehicles adjacent to their own hangars if there is no obstruction caused to any taxiway, designated aircraft parking area, or inconvenience caused to any other hangar, tenant, or owner. Vehicles may be parked short-term, one layer deep on either side of the airport access road. No vehicle storage of any kind is allowed on airport grounds. Overnight parking is prohibited with the exception of vehicles for aircraft crew and their passengers during flights. Vehicles parked for this reason must be removed immediately after the aircraft returns. Vehicles not in compliance with parking rules will be removed from the airport property at the owner's expense. Overnight camping and residing. No overnight camping is allowed on any airport property without approval from the airport manager. No person may reside, live in, or occupy any hangar for the purpose of housing. The flying club lets people, go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna back up, actually, on the vehicle parking, are the people in the T hangars considered tenants?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanna make sure.
Okay, no overnight camping is allowed. Hasn't the flying club allowed people to pitch tents on their property?
I think when someone would fly in, I don't know if we've done it specifically, but there has been folks that have done it. You mean outside the Father's Day event?
Right.
Yeah, they're from time to time, but it's very seldom.
It's rare, but.
They also stayed in the flying club's clubhouse too. So, I mean,
Is it something that would be a problem with this?
no,
No.
Oh, if they have Chris's
as
permission.
long as you have with the manager's approval, no.
Okay,
So that if somebody flies
Somebody
in,
flies in, they wanna pitch it, tell them, fly in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so you can tell them where
But
to
you're gonna,
pitch
but you're gonna go over here and do, you're not, you know,
Right.
so you're out of the way. You're not gonna start a fire.
Are you the only person, you being the airport manager, would you be the only person to give someone permission to do that?
I don't think anybody could on the board.
Or a designee, would that cover?
Any
Yeah.
board member?
That'd be fine.
Yeah, or designee is a good way to word it, because if he goes on vacation for a week, you can say, all right,
Yeah,
somebody else
good
is
point.
in charge.
Mm.
Alright, I'll add or designee.
Yeah, that's very seldom happens, so I don't see a problem with that.
Campfires or open flames. Campfires, fires, fireworks, or open flames are prohibited on airport property. This does not prohibit cooking on gas or charcoal grills on non-aircraft movement portions of the airport.
So you can't have a grill by the fuel farm?
No,
Okay.
I just said.
you can.
Let us know
You
if
have
do
to
it.
have it inside the confinement of the tank. Portable toilets and sanitation stations. Long-term use or storage of portable toilets and sanitation stations is prohibited. Permission for short-term use or storage of portable toilet units or sanitation stations may be granted by the airport manager. Units may be placed a maximum of 2 days prior to use and must be removed a maximum of 2 days after use.
Just from history, I know when I was in charge of ordering them, they often bring them more than 2 days ahead of time and pick
Yeah.
them up later than 2
That's
days
also a special
afterwards.
event though. if you're-
Yeah, cause then you'd write that on there, yeah.
All right, well, I mean, what's the difference if you change that to 7 days? I mean, is it really an issue?
Yeah. No, it's not. I don't think it's an issue.
So we can change it to 7 days?
No,
Okay, I mean, I'm just,
No, it wouldn't matter if they brought it, who's gonna complain?
again,
We're not gonna
again,
complain,
it's
it's
granted
just-
by the manager, so
right.
why keep changing stuff and all you do is call and
That's
say,
fine.
yeah, and there you go.
That's also gonna
It's
be
either
also
a week
under
at a
that,
time, fine.
it's gonna be under that, special thing,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you'll say,
right.
Okay, smoking, including electronic smoking devices, is prohibited on the east-west taxiway, runway, area between the runway and taxiway, or within 50 feet of the aircraft fueling area. Display or consumption of alcoholic beverages is prohibited on the east-west taxiway, excuse me, runway or area between the runway and taxiway. Illegal drugs are prohibited from display or use on any part of the airport.
Do you need that last sentence?
You want it?
Well, you're making a law that they're already breaking the law. I don't know, that just seems
No,
like
we don't need
redundancy.
Take it off.
That just,
Well, that's Wisconsin,
Yeah, I agree.
all the other states,
Straight
it's
bill.
legal to have marijuana.
Let the
And
illegal-
then it
Yeah,
wouldn't
have
be an
a
illegal
party.
drug.
It's no longer illegal, that's great.
But you couldn't smoke, because you can't have fire out there.
Yeah,
We're illegal
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, but you can't hide it. You can have it, you can't hide it.
So why are we making drugs legal on the airport here?
We are, they're already illegal.
They're already
They're
illegal.
illegal.
Vaccine murder on the east-west taxiway isn't allowed,
Yeah.
Really?
you know?
More south it is,
The entire airport is reserved exclusively for aviation activities.
Just out of curiosity, like, I know Rick, was kind of working on the thing with the fire department. They brought the airplane here to show the firefighters an airplane, so that's how it segued into the aviation aspect. Cause it wasn't, its main event was not aviation. They had aviation, they showed how the Cub could just start and stuff, I mean, so it's, but would that be under the special
That'd be an event.
event?
If it was big, it would be an event.
Okay,
I mean, the intent is not to stop local services from training. And earlier in the document, they're allowed on with proper lighting and
Right.
do the job, so I don't see a conflict.
okay, I just was just asking.
Aircraft owners and operators, hangar owners and tenants, itinerant aircraft visitors, as well as other aviation or non-aviation interests are expected to maintain the airport in a neat and orderly manner at all times. The town of Palmyra does not provide trash receptacles nor provide trash removal services at the airport. No external storage of any kind is allowed between or around hangars or anywhere on airport grounds. No temporary tents or structures are allowed unless approved by the airport manager or part of a special event. No trash bags or barrels are permitted anywhere on aircraft grounds with the exception of the trash container at the fuel pump area and the aircraft waste oil barrel. Trash generated by any person must be removed from the grounds immediately. Pet waste must be picked up and removed immediately. Any equipment or air vehicle equipment must be removed from the airport public areas immediately after use. Special events procedures. Subject to the section of operating rules addressing aeronautical use, a special event is defined as any gathering of aircraft pilots or groups utilizing the airport, runway, taxiways, or airport grounds for the purpose of a contest, festival, publicly advertised air show, or other event on airport grounds. Approval for a special event must be requested from the airport manager by the event sponsor not less than 60 days prior to the event. The airport manager shall notify the Palmyra Police and Fire Department not less than 30 days of the event for their review. Is that the way it's been going, Chris?
This will be your first.
This has been, we
Discussed,
discussed this
yeah.
and we
Yeah.
changed some things last
But
time
yeah, it's okay.
significantly.
Yeah, it's, okay, this is what you want,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
We kinda did that because the village was a little upset that the last Father's Day, we
Didn't have any
didn't
event
notify
permit.
them that, we needed fire equipment and there's stuff out here. Well, it wasn't really that we needed out here, it was that they would make sure they had enough people on hand to handle the situation, because it's mostly volunteers, and I think they just wanted to have more volunteers that weekend because of more people here and more possibility of
Okay, makes
something
sense.
happening.
Charges incurred this special event. At the discretion of the airport manager, the event sponsor may be charged the additional costs incurred by the Palmyra Police and Fire Departments and other municipal, town, and county services incurred as a result of the special event. The special event sponsor shall obtain and present a certificate of insurance in the amount specified by the airport manager. You do that? Have you done that?
I've gotten, when they had the hang line thing, I got all the stuff from you?
Larry Bunner right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. Yes, I have received them.
The special event sponsor shall present a general plan to the airport manager that includes dates and times, whether alternative date, the anticipated number of aircraft, participants, estimated public attendance, the name of the group sponsor, contact persons, contact information, and contact info. You don't need that
Double
twice.
document.
Yep.
Okay.
And contact information. Plan for vehicle parking, aircraft parking and securing, sanitation, trash pickup and disposal, and restoring damage or excessive wear to runway or other surfaces. Plan must detail the number and size of any temporary structures or tents or signage, timetable for erection and removal, and method of securing from wind and storms. Each special event shall have a designated safety coordinator. This position will be the main contact regarding safety issues, safety planning, and will be the liaison between the special event and police, fire, emergency services, and the airport manager regarding all issues of safety. The designated event safety coordinator or designee shall be on the airport grounds at all times during the special event. As part of the approval process, the special event sponsor shall develop and submit a safety plan for the proposed event. The safety plan shall include the following, plus any additional items deemed necessary by the airport manager or Palmyra Police and Fire Departments. Segregation of the public from dangerous areas, crowd control, access by emergency vehicles and personnel, plan for securing aircraft on the ground from wind and storms, 88 C does not provide tie downs. Additionally, the safety plan must address the training of vehicles, of persons responsible for the aircraft, for aircraft marshaling and for operators of ground vehicles on airport boundaries, right-of-way rules and procedures for operating in an active airport environment. NOTAM issuance shall be coordinated between the event safety coordinator and the airport manager. A safety meeting including pilots and ground personnel, equipment operators, event safety coordinator, pilots and operators, and event managers shall be conducted daily prior to the start time of the special event and prior to the anticipated arrival time of the public. The safety meeting time will be included in the safety plan, and if changed, notice shall be given to both the airport manager and the Palmyra Police Department. No special event shall be allowed to impede the operation of any aircraft, nor block nor restrict any portion of the taxiway, runway, fuel pump, or hangar access. The airport manager or designee has the right and responsibility to cause special events operations to cease or pause if any elements of this document are not in compliance, safety is compromised, risk is deemed excessive, traffic pattern rules are infringed, other aircraft are impeded or blocked from use, police or fire department have sole safety concerns, or for any other cause deemed safety related. This is solely at the discretion of the airport manager. The special event sponsor or special event safety coordinator may negotiate risk mitigation and attempt to have the special event continue.
I'd just like to ask a question, and Dave, you've been in charge of the flying club this. How are you going to enforce this daily safety meeting? It says a safety meeting including pilots. They ain't even here yet.
It's not the pilots we're referring to, we're actually referring to, intended to refer to the pilots giving rides, not the pilots that are.
Well, it doesn't say that. It says safety coordinated pilots and operators.
But hold on, they're not part
They're
of
not
it.
part of the special event.
They're just flying in, no different than a fellow driving in or riding his Harley in, but I understand what you're saying, Rick.
But if we have a special event like they had with the gliders, then those pilots should be in a safety. Is that the ones he's trying
They
to
all are.
refer to?
At that time for that
Yeah.
event, yeah, because they're in the event,
Okay.
so you have two tow planes, they'd be in there.
Okay, one thing I missed on chapter 10, you had a duplicate wording there of parallel taxiway.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, and just a question on that, because in the paragraph or two before that, you say that the hangar owners can, of course, drive on that parallel taxiway to get fuel and such, but according to this paragraph 10, they can't grab the gas can and walk down the taxiway. I understand you want to keep persons off the runway, but is walking on the
They can walk
parallel
on the grass
taxiway an
right
issue?
through Taxiway.
I think a lot of this is supposed to be common sense.
Well, and it has been for 60-some years. That's why I'm confused why all of a sudden things are changing. But,
They're not changing. How much are we changing?
well,
How much are
This
we
is-
changing? We're putting something in writing, it should have been in writing probably 20 years ago.
okay, well, there are several things on there that are common sense, so.
We wouldn't have traffic laws in America if common sense was used on the highway.
Well, I agree with you 100%. But when you put it in writing that they can't walk down the taxiway,
We're gonna talk about people on the taxiway just here in a couple seconds. My degree is in industrial safety. I've investigated all kinds of accidents and seen all kinds of hazards. On fly-in breakfast day on Father's Day, there is what they would call in industrial safety an unsafe condition. and that is people being able to walk out on the taxiway. Anyone who's had a little kid, a 2-year-old, can be out in front of a prop before you blink. It's not a good, safe condition. If you guys wanna let that happen, that's up to you. But
Well,
I'm telling you,
actually, it wasn't allowed to happen.
from,
Yeah, you guys
People,
addressed
because
that
we
last
have
week.
signs, we have the cadets doing it, but
we need fence,
we do, along the taxiway,
yes,
barbed wire, razor.
no, snow fence would work fine.
Then the guys in the steermans hit it and then they complain. So
Well, how
then you're,
close you gonna put it? You can have it 5 feet from a hangar, 4 feet from a hangar, to keep people back. It's just to keep people off of the taxiway. Everybody here knows, that's ever been to a flying breakfast, has seen people walking on a taxiway. All you pilots have been into flying breakfasts all over the country. This is the only one I've ever seen where little kids had access to a taxiway.
Bigfoot,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other ones,
Okay,
a lot of other ones.
The other, what was it, Sugar Ridge or whatever, is two out there.
Oconomowoc didn't either.
but again, that'd be something to discuss with the
That's-
airport manager at the,
that's
you
what-
know.
I'm just saying
That's-
that.
So just something addressed in a
Alright.
special event.
I pointed out hazardous conditions to people for 30 years.
Matter of fact, Oshkosh, the Air Venture, there's planes taxiing, yeah, they got a wing walker on each side, but, and I understand what you're saying, but again, it goes back to your statement earlier about common sense.
Aircraft are escorted there.
But there's no fence between the spectators and the aircraft taxiing.
No. But they're usually, most of the time, you are, I would think, with people knowledgeable of aircraft and aviation. Not all of them, no. Oh, I've flown in there half a dozen times, I know what it's all about.
Yeah. No, Dave
But
does a
I'm
good job
telling
of
you-
having the,
As a professional safety person.
Yeah.
All right? I'm just pointing something out. People wanna leave it that way, you can. It's,
No,
As
those are
a-
good
as a-
things.
it's
As a
just a concern.
Professional safety person, until this year, you could go sit at a baseball game and get hit in the head with a baseball
Sure could,
from 90 feet away.
like that little 2-year-old
Yep.
girl in New York.
Yep. I mean,
But-
it's happened many times,
It's just a thing, I mentioned it.
and that's something that's on your ticket, that they're not responsible for anything that happens to you when you're there, that there are none of these at the flying.
Yankees are paying for that kid though.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Just-
The
be
teams
nice.
always do, but still, that's on there.
Well, good noted, I mean, we'll address that at the thing, at the safety event meeting and stuff like that, so. Okay, are we good?
I have one comment, Jim Rowland.
Jim?
You mentioned airport manager or his designee or discretion. There may be a couple other spots in here, you may want to add that same wording. You can do that later, you don't have to do it now. It's a common sense thing.
Good point, there's several other areas that it might behoove you to put or designate.
Or
so that
designate.
You can designate somebody. there.
Correct.
You wanna do
That's
that
all.
as a blanket every time it says airport manager, put or designee?
You could,
That's right.
it's not gonna hurt.
I think so.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I hate to go back to the traffic pattern.
And I was gonna go right back there.
Well, add the designee, so that we're done with that.
Yeah.
I think you might wanna be careful stating specific altitudes, directions other than non-standard at all. It's good to come up with what, cause we've had that discussion, we were non-standard, what should we be? It's good to have that discussion, but putting a policy, I'd be careful of doing that, I think. Just because I haven't seen it anywhere else.
So you're saying on the part of air operations and traffic pattern, we should leave out that it's supposed to be 1,000 foot?
If not necessarily, I'm saying if you guys want to be the standard traffic pattern, that's how it should be stated.
Just stated as standard.
we will have standard traffic pattern per the
And
AC.
don't put anything else.
I would be careful, unless you want something non-standard, you
Just-
have that
Now,
opportunity.
just a minute, so, I may be in.
You're saying that because there's no case law to back anything up either. You're making a recommendation.
What if we left the first two sentences, or first two paragraphs,
I think that,
and essentially took out everything
And
else?
strike the rest of it?
yeah, 'cause if you're saying we want standard, you don't need to then specify what standard is, just leave it standard. And what brings this up is, I look again at your helicopter, what you had, and then I look at what's published, and it's not what you guys have. It's close, but it's not.
I thought I got it exact, no?
It says here, standard fixed wing traffic pattern is 1,000 feet AGL left-hand turns, which you have. It's typical at airports without a control tower for helicopters to fly opposite pattern in lower altitudes, which is kind of mentioned. Then it goes on to specify an accepted helicopter traffic pattern is 500 feet AGL consisting of right-hand turns. So that's what helicopters are trained. It's not saying they will always do that, but you don't want to start publishing something that may be different, I think, than what is expected as standard.
All right.
Unless you want that. That's acceptable too.
What if we kept paragraphs 1 and 2, and the last 3 instruct the rest? Because we're covered then with all the, we're covered by the ACs and regulatory part 61, part 91.
I have no objection to whatever you decide. I think that would help relieve some liability from you possibly.
That's part of the reason for this.
The only thing I would add is if in the future you decide, we might want right-hand pattern for this specific thing, you absolutely then can go and change that.
That's what problem.
So if it was petitioned that you want a right-hand pattern for the ultralight, then
You could go change that, make that your rule, publish it where you need to publish it.
doesn't that be very specific to that AC, okay.
Right.
All right.
And same thing if you want to keep all traffic away from the airport.
Like the Watertown does, left and right to stay on.
Yep. Whatever.
Okay.
You have that right. Just be careful saying everything will be standard, and this is what we mean. Either say standard or standard except for this operation.
Right, so we will leave paragraphs 1 and 2, remove 3, 4, 5, and 6, and keep 7, 8, and 9. How's that?
Well, let me ask Rick this. Rick, in part 103, do you remember what 103 aircraft ultralights are supposed to be doing for traffic patterns when they come into an airport?
For their standard?
Yeah, that's actually an advisory circular, it's 500 feet.
And a left-hand pattern if the airport's left-hand, right-hand, right-hand?
There's
No pattern?
provisions,
Okay.
no provisions for anything opposite.
No, but I mean, it doesn't say follow airport patterns. Or does it just say 500 feet and it's nothing else said?
It's actually fairly well addressed, I believe, in the advisory circular, it is 500 feet, whichever we establish
All right.
pattern is for that.
So we can scratch out this part here, I just wanna make sure we're scratching out something that we can get rid
No,
of.
I think,
I think it's
I'm
fine.
happy to get rid of stuff.
If you have
Yeah.
one runway, it's left-hand at 500 feet. If you have
And we were gonna keep the last 3, Lou, the last 3?
Keep 1, 2, and 3, or, I'm sorry, keep 1 and 2,
Yeah,
delete 3, 4, 5, and 6, and keep 7, 8, and 9.
I know it's
okay.
three preferences. That's a great example of an option.
And that's a good point, we don't really need to rewrite the advisory
No,
circular.
it's better to let them write it, we just cite the number.
Yeah, that's fine.
So are we done with this draft?
Helpless Hell has something, no?
Levi? Anybody
Will this be then addressed at a regular airport commission meeting and then the town board, or what?
We'll have to, we can do it all with the commission, so
Okay.
we'll do it at a commission meeting.
Could I request a copy of the final revision
We,
to
the
see?
final draft will be available when we get it.
Okay,
We have a meeting in January, we should have it at that.
okay,
And
and
then there'll be
which
copies.
one of you will have the final draft?
I'll
You
type
could
it,
email me.
I'll type it and distribute it to Ed. I don't know how to
Okay.
distribute.
All right, I'll drop you an email, so
Send me an email.
request that you just send a final
But
copy
it-
out.
But the final copy will not be, well, we could approve it tonight.
Yeah, I'm in favor of approve, I'll make a motion to approve tonight.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this draft. I think it should be a voice vote
With the changes
with
discussed.
the changes
Yes.
discussed. And Lou will be, I don't think we should do this tonight,
All right, then
personally.
I'll make a
because
motion,
I
we
think,
make a final ruling on January meeting.
yes, I think Lou should type this up,
Mhm.
and then we can approve it at the January meeting. We can look at it in case something has to be changed.
Then we'll take the word draft off it and write it up as it's likely to be.
Right,
Okay,
Yeah.
we do that.
It should stay a draft, I think, until you approve it.
till we approve it, but he can send it to me in the final form.
You can call it final draft.
Whatever you wanna call it, we'll send it to Ed and then,
Okay, the second issue is discuss and take possible action on appropriateness of hang gliders at Palmyra. And that was where I wanted the FAA to say something, but they're not gonna weigh in anyway, are they? So, we're told we can't preclude them. We're told it's unsafe to have them here. This whole thing with this policy started with the hang gliders. That's where it all started. And Danny has been willing to help us to a great degree. He also understands it could go against him. I counted the emails that were sent to me. I've received 18 emails. 14 were very much against hang gliders and 4 were for. And the 4 that were for it, that I received emails from, I take that back, there should be 5, because I believe Rick sent me one also. Or did you not?
I don't recall if I did or
Okay.
not.
I
I am
I'm
in
not-
favor of any aviation. I mean, that's what this airport is. It's recreational.
So anyway, that being said, the only 2 people that fly out of Palmyra that sent me something in favor of the hang gliders were Danny and Rick. All the pilots that are from Palmyra said we're against it. I don't know that that can weigh in on our
how many
decision.
abstained though, cause I didn't vote.
No, it wasn't a vote.
I mean, I didn't even email though, I mean.
No, this was just emails I received petitioning me to take it to the board to exclude hang gliders. So, I don't wanna vote on this because I'm not a pilot, I don't have anything to do with flying. I don't know how safe it is, how unsafe it is, and we're not gonna make a final decision tonight anyway. Even though the FAA will not,
So then why are we kicking the can down the road?
because the can needed to be kicked and we haven't mentioned it yet.
Well, you kinda did.
I just did.
And the thing is, we've addressed a lot of the safety concerns on the runway. I don't see a reason why we can't address it. I mean, why do we have to?
Okay, the floor is yours.
Well, in line there with Rick, that I promote anything for aviation, as long as it's done in a safe manner. And I think we've addressed a number of the safety concerns, that the pilots had. Next thing you know, like I said, they won't want purple airplanes. And I think that we should bring all aviation, as long as it's in a safe manner, allowed here in Palmyra. And whether hang gliding is my thing or not, is not for me to say. I mean, it is a recognized event. Same thing with an ultralight. It may not be my thing, but there are other folks that have that enjoy that. A balloon, acrobatics. I'm not in favor of flying upside down, but I can still appreciate that, and I don't think we should eliminate any of that stuff. There's a few folks that get killed flying upside down, but that doesn't mean it's a dangerous thing and we should stop it here at the airport.
You know, all the emails that I received, I'm the same as that. I don't see one of those people sitting here right now that was doing all the complaining. But I do see the guys that are in favor over here. Same guys that have been here the whole time.
Okay, I would just like to say that I think, number one, a lot of those emails you got were probably the people that received Lou's letter that he emailed out, very biased letter against hang gliding. And some of the comments were almost extreme. He mentioned about that they couldn't even fly over the cemetery because in case there was a burial service going on, that would provide, how did you word it?
Actually, that's not true. I did say you could not fly over it if there were services going on, which
Yeah,
is true.
and you don't think that's a little bit of an extreme statement? But anyways, that's how his whole letter was stated.
Emails I received were generic.
Okay, but that was probably in response because he, in his email, asked to have pilots respond to you against this. And I think that was pretty biased. Now, going on with that, this airport does not have any commercial flight operations. It's strictly a recreational airport. And why is Lou's recreation any better than Danny's recreation? It is simple flight. The Wright brothers started out with basically a hang glider. And from that, they moved on to powered flight, which was still considered very unsafe today's standard.
Even by that time, people were like, you're gonna
Yes.
put your life in that thing?
Yes, so, no, we shouldn't be going regulating hang gliding flight out of here. I'm not a hang glider enthusiast. I've never, well, I can't say I've never did. I did it once at Kill Devil Hills at the Wright Brothers Memorial, but that was another thing. But anyways, if that's Danny's thing or other pilots' thing, that's fine. I have nothing against it. And it worries me that people like Lou thinks that he cannot maneuver an airplane and stay safely away from others. I have no problem with sitting down and drafting up these rules of how we can all use this airport safely. I'm fine with that. But to say, no, they cannot use this airport, if we can't do it here at Palmyra, where can we do it? I can understand not having hang gliding in Milwaukee, not having it at Waukesha Airport, but Palmyra Airport, come on. This is general aviation at its best. We should be proud to have any type of aviation be able to fly out of here. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Well,
John, your comment.
yeah, I fly both. I got more time in a hang glider than I do in an airplane. But I'm looking at it more from the perspective of discrimination against another type of aviation. And I thought part of our grants and things said we couldn't exclude against hang gliders unless it could be proven it was really dangerous. And I haven't seen any proof of it being dangerous yet because they haven't been out here enough.
Well, they've also been around, let's see, you'd have some reference, but I think it's been proven that they're not really any more dangerous, because otherwise the FAA would say, you can't.
Well, no, but I mean, dangerous to the operations at this airport in particular. Yeah, outside from here, that's a different story, but I'm talking about at this airport, we can't say that they can't commingle because we haven't tried it. I think we do need to give them a chance and try it out.
Frank? From what I saw of the operation out here when he had that tournament, it looked well organized, looked safe. Some guys landed some miles away and in fields and things, but I guess that's part of flying a hang glider.
Well, we had a J3 Cub that landed off field. I mean, so there's aviation itself could have.
I was here when that Aeronca landed over in a tree near the cemetery.
Well, last time I checked that had a motor in it.
So, I don't have any problem with it. From what they've told us is they're trying to stay over in Whitewater. We have rules now that if they do come here, they have to get their stuff off the runway and things, and it's a public airport.
Now, could we do this though with the hang gliders? Require all of them to have some pretty good training of some sort, either good ground schooling so they understand what airplanes are doing?
Dave?
I'd say no.
Because
I'd say no about that, and then the reason I raised my hand was actually before you started talking,
Oh,
so.
sorry.
That's all right. No, I just, in my opinion, I'd say no, because then what's gonna be next? Are you gonna tell me I have to have certain qualifications to fly my Cherokee or whatever,
You
so
do,
I would say no.
you do.
Well, no, but that's no different than the
You know
handlers.
where airplanes are coming into the pattern,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know what altitude they should be at.
yeah, but I'm
You know
saying,
what they
that-
should be saying on the radio.
but I'm
So
saying
a lot
that
of
hand
people,
gliders are
I
gonna
think
do.
some hang glider people might or might not know. I
Yeah,
don't know
well,
what they know, but
will
I
say
think
that
they should know basic traffic pattern, rules.
It's in
Okay.
Part 103.
That's in it, that's what I'm
And
saying,
I don't know, I've
so,
never flown, I don't know a thing about them.
right, that's what I'm saying, so they have the same,
If someone's to
reading
say
material
they
that we
should
do.
know some basic rules as far as airports go, yes, I think they should.
you also don't wanna
But-
make it more stringent
that's it.
than what's already out there in the
No, we don't
circulars.
have to make up rules. My God, FAA has enough of those to choke a horse. But
that's what I'm
if
saying.
those
I don't think
people
we
know
write
what
anything
it says,
special, they have what they have, and
that's fine
that's
with
it.
me. I don't
Okay.
care.
But anyways, the reason I raised my hand, I'm gonna go actually to my subject now, which,
Okay, go ahead.
which was about the, hang gliders themselves. You know, I think part of the scare was that the way the hang gliders operate over in Whitewater is not gonna be the way they're gonna be allowed to operate over here, and I think that's the key. I think that because they're the only people over there, and they own it, well, they don't necessarily own it, but you kinda do in a way.
Release the whole damn thing.
That's what I'm saying. So they operated in a totally different fashion, and I think that's the reason you're putting the paper together, is to say, hey, look, we don't mind you coming over, but in order to come over, you need to adhere to the same stuff everybody else does, so that it's done in a safe manner. I agree, it's no less safe than a lot of other forms, in the fact that, you know, well, when I flew in last Wednesday from Missouri, I had a J3 Cub, no radio. I come out of the clouds because I was on instrument approach, and he was like a quarter mile or less in front of me and never seen me. I followed him all the way. The reason that he never seen me, I know, is because I stopped and I talked to him as Sorge. He was like, "Were you behind me the whole time?" I'm like, "Yeah, buddy. I was following you the whole time, making calls." And he actually was like, "Man, that scares me. Where were you at?" And I said, "Well, I was on an instrument flight plan. I just fell out of the clouds." He was looking around, and I just popped out of the clouds like, you know, half a mile away from the runway. So, I guess the case in point is, I don't, with the seeing a void, I don't know that it's any dangerous, more so than some of the no radio, no electric planes we have flying in out of here, you know.
So I guess to that case in point, I'd like to, at this point, not kick it down the road, I'd like to make a motion that we.
Who hasn't gotten to speak yet?
Oh, my mistake.
Actually, I have several things to say. So we can all guess about what might be safe or unsafe here. Can we visit with, maybe what the FAA says and some things? So advisory 103-6, and I have it. Anybody like any of this stuff? I have it right here. 103-6 says that there are airports where other air traffic is not controlled by air traffic control. These airports are referred to as uncontrolled airports. Use of these airports by ultralight vehicles may require prior permission from the airport operator. When seeking to use these airports, ultralight operators should remember that even though the airport may be tax supported, airport management has a responsibility for determining the compatibility of operating the various classes of aircraft on the airport. If an ultralight can be safely operated on the airport, then permission to operate may be granted. So it's not built in.
Not a guarantee, no.
It's not guaranteed. Continuing to paragraph 23 of that same document, because of the possible effects of wake turbulence, which is something we really haven't addressed, and that's turbulence caused by aircraft during takeoff or landing. Operations in close proximity to aircraft of greater speed and weight should be avoided. Aircraft Advisory Circular 1036 also suggests that flight parks, abandoned airports, and open spaces are very suitable for ultralight aircraft. They're actually trying to give alternatives. Move on to FAA order, which is a letter 7110-99, which actually is written for air traffic control, but it gives a lot of good insight. It says that the speed and flight characteristics of ultralights, especially as related to wake turbulence, there it is again, may make them incompatible with aircraft operations. In view of these considerations, ultralight vehicles should be segregated from all non-ultralight aircraft in use of runways and airport surfaces. Airport managers develop rules for the use of an airport facilities by all operators on a non-discriminatory basis. The right to operate is conditioned on a number of safety factors relating to the operation of different types of aircraft and vehicles. Airport managers may establish minimum requirements for use of an airport. Continuing that same document, if a designated ultralight operation area is established, they should be